We'll be doing the electrolysis of water. So what do we have here? We have a beaker full of water and 2 test tubes also full of water put into the beaker. We have 2 graphite electrodes connected to wires, and here we have a 12-volt battery which should be charged. Just plain tap water, and we've filled the whole entire beaker. So now let's connect the 2 electrodes to the circuit and to the battery and close the circuit. So you see little bubbles gathering on the electrodes. The one on the left electrode is hydrogen, and the one on the right electrode should be oxygen. This isn't still water, and there should be enough stuff in there to start the electrolysis, because distilled water is a very bad conductor of electricity. So, and the left electrode is the negative electrode and the right is the positive electrode. And this should be hydrogen because there are more bubbles here, and as we know, there's twice as many hydrogen in water as oxygen. You can see the reaction is going really slow, so let's speed it up by adding some impurities. So to do that, let's just dissolve some salt in water. This is just normal table salt you can get at any food store, so that should be enough. Now let's mix it. Now let's pour it in. And this should speed up the reaction. And now that there are impurities, as you can see, the reaction is going much faster. If this were hydrogen and oxygen, then there was supposed to be twice as much hydrogen than there is oxygen. This is obviously not the case. But we added salt, normal salt here, and salt is sodium chloride. And this looks more like a sodium chloride electrolysis, because here we have hydrogen and here is chlorine. It's supposed to be chlorine if this is a sodium chloride electrolysis. If that is true, then in the water is sodium hydroxide, which is a base. So let's test this by adding phenolphthalein here. So we put in a couple drops, and as we see, it turns pink very quickly. And since it is a base indicator, we know that there is a base, which means there is sodium hydroxide there, which means that this is actually a sodium chloride electrolysis, which means that this is hydrogen and this is chlorine. So instead of getting oxygen, we got chlorine. And that is really unexpected. So yeah, so if you want to get oxygen, do not add table salt. Add something else, like sulfuric acid. So I'm mixing it up just to see what happens. Oops, bubbles came out of the hydrogen electrode. So I will stop mixing. And now we have pink bubbles. So the hydrogen test tube is already full and the hydrogen is spilling out from the sides. And we have quite an impressive bubble underneath the test tube. The test tube is full of hydrogen. That was a bubble. Then let's take it out and light the hydrogen. And hopefully we'll have an effect. So I'll put a piece of cloth around the test tube just in case it pops. And now let's see. There.